we thought they were going to be this new preseason powerhouse, and 0 for 2 so far.
Welcome to Better Win Green, to Better Win Green, to Better Win Green.
Alrighty, welcome into week 3 of Intentional Lounging preseason edition. I'm Ethan. With me, as always, is Wyatt. Wyatt, a little early morning special we got going here. Got some obligations in the afternoon, so had to hop on early to get these games in before the Thursday night kickoff. We'll get right into it. But before we do, how you doing this morning?
I'm good. Was kind of hoping we would just skip out on this episode because I'm looking at the board and it's looking a little tricky today. So we're gonna try to give you guys the best preseason analysis that we can. But again, pre-show it's looking like, especially week 3 of the preseason is going to be pretty difficult to bet. I don't think there's much edge in really any side or whatever. So at the end of the day, it's educated guesses. And this is a tricky slate, and I'm just ready for the regular season.
Yeah, me too. I'm glad they cut down the preseason from 4 to 3. Makes it a little more bearable. Hopefully they get down to 2 as we keep going here. But we're on time crunch today, so we'll get right into it. I don't think that'll be a problem because I as well don't have a ton of feel for week 3 preseason here. But starting off Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern kickoff, the Colts at the Bengals. Bengals currently a 6.5 point home underdog, over under 34.5. Anything sticking out in game 1 of week 3?
Yeah, again, going back to that, the slight edge that I do think is in preseason, and that is big spreads. It's usually wise to take those. So I would lean the Colts at the 6.5 here, just because again, I think it's like hitting around 65% teams in the preseason when they're favored 5.5 points or more. So just based on that, I would lean the Colts. There are, when we get into it, a couple bigger spreads that I do think there might be some value in throwing in the underdog money line, just because, again, who really knows who's playing, who's going to take it too seriously. But I like the Colts in this. The Bengals are 0-2. I think the Colts can cover a touchdown here.
I agree. Slightly on the Colts. Don't think I'm going to end up playing this, but yeah, I mean, Cincy, I think they're just ready to bag it. They've dealt with injuries for the last few years when they've been relevant. And the last thing they would want is some major injury in the final preseason game of the year, or even depth injury to an offensive lineman who I know they've dealt with some struggles recently with lineman injuries. So I don't think there's any upside here for taking the Bengals. Their quarterback room sucks. We talked about it week 1. Rocky Lombardi is somehow in that quarterback room and is probably going to get a lot of minutes in this game. And the Colts are kind of rolling in the preseason. So I think they could have some incentive to just come out here and make it a 3-0 preseason, build some momentum heading into the regular season. So I would lean the Colts, but not sure if I'm going to be able to get to the window on that one. 8:20 kickoff Thursday night. Nice little doubleheader we have here. Chicago Bears at Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs are a 1.5 point home dog, over under 32. I'm liking this game a little bit more. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, the big thing that stands out to me is the total of 32. And again, I don't highly recommend taking totals in the preseason because again, very unpredictable, and unders usually hit at a pretty decent rate. But I kind of like the under in that. The Chiefs, their first 2 games were what the total was 40.5 and then 39.5. I believe week 1 just missed. I think it ended at 39. Last week they played the Lions and that soared over the 39.5. Now we got a total at 32, and Chicago, we all know, is no. They're not shy to score in the preseason, but this suggests to me, and again, I haven't looked at much data of who is starting and who's not playing, but I can tell you right now, Mahomes and Caleb Williams will not be playing in this game. The total's at 32. So I like the under. I think it's going to be a snooze fest. I could see I really, it would be honestly a coin flip of who will win the game because I don't think either team cares, but I do think the play is probably the under of 32.
Thank you for bringing that up. I was going to mention I do kind of like the under in that first game, Colts-Bengals, just because I don't think the Bengals are going to put up many points. But Also, yeah, I'm sure you've seen by now, pretty public information that the unders went 14-2 last week. I think overall they're 26-6 or something like that, 25-7, somewhere in there, on the preseason. So I actually think overs are going to have some value this week, especially when teams are playing players who are fighting for a job. So I don't have an opinion on that over under. I almost wonder if it's so low because the unders have had so much success that now the books are putting them low, knowing that people are probably going to bet it. Um, but I think I kind of like the Chiefs plus the points in this game. Um, I just think Chicago, they've already played 3 games. They're probably way more ready than the Chiefs to get to the regular season. Um, yeah, I think some of the backups could be fighting just a little bit harder for the Chiefs at home. Final preseason game Thursday night. Um, Bears are already 3-0. I think they've proved what they wanted to prove. So slight lean towards the Chiefs as the home dog in that one. Again, not sure if I'm going to get to the window on that. And then we have a triple header on Friday night. Going to be a great night of football here. Jacksonville Jaguars at Atlanta Falcons, 7 p.m. Eastern. Falcons +7, over under 35.5. Anything sticking out to you in our Friday night opener?
Yeah, so again, big spread usually leads to me betting the big spread team. Jacksonville's 2-0, Atlanta's 0-2. This is, however, one game that I'm debating taking just the Falcons straight up on the money line. I think seven's quite a bit. I know both teams don't really care, especially Atlanta. I don't think they care at all right now. But I think this could be a game that that they win, and I don't know what their money line is. It's probably around the plus 200s area. So um, yeah, I don't love Jacksonville, so I don't think I'm going to take them at the -7. I think the play for me would be a quarter unit just on possibly Falcons money line.
Yeah, I agree with you on Falcons plus the points. One angle that I've learned about in week 3 preseason is a rookie coach playing their final game at home who was winless in the preseason historically has been a good play on. Obviously, you don't want to get swept in meaningless games as a first year head coach before the games start meaning anything and it gets a little bit harder. So, yeah, I think Falcons at home catching a full touchdown against the Jags, who obviously don't care at this point. Not that Atlanta really probably cares too much, but I do like playing that angle. So yeah, this is probably gonna be my first play of the preseason this week. I think I'm gonna hop on Atlanta plus the points. Don't hate your play of the outright. Uh, could get there myself with a little sprinkle, but I think +7. It's hard to say in the preseason. Feels like a pretty safe play. Second game Friday night, 7:30 kickoff. Staying in that vicinity there. Miami at Tampa Bay. Tampa is a 3-point home favorite, our first home team favored here. Over under 38. Anything you're liking, Miami and Tampa?
You know, I'm probably going to stay away from this game. I know we said the sharps were all over the over last week, and how did that work out? 14-2. But I'm seeing a massive amount of money compared to bets coming in on the over in this game. Again, I'm not going to get there. Just again, if you want to follow sharp movement in the preseason, again, last week it did not work. 14-2 is terrible, but maybe the over. I don't really have a play. I would lean Tampa, but I'm not going to bet this game.
Yeah, small lean on the over for me. Like you said, the money coming in, which I had not seen, so thanks for bringing that up. But just with a total that high, and with the under success so far, I think it looks very easy to bet that under. Miami only put up 13 points last week, Tampa 7. So it's hard to believe that this number is that high, which is, obviously the bookmakers don't make mistakes uh, very often, if ever. So I think they're begging you to take that under, which tells me it probably goes over. So small lean on the over in that Florida showdown right there. And then our nightcap Friday, 10 p.m. Eastern, San Francisco 49ers at Las Vegas Raiders. Raiders a 6-point home dog, over under 35. Anything in the late night degenerate special game?
As of right now, no. I really don't like these two teams in the preseason right now. I think I'm 0-1 on the Niners games, and I'm 0-2 betting the Raiders game. So combined with these two teams, I'm 0-3 in the preseason. Not the greatest for me. So as of right now, I'm going to say I'm going to pass. There's no way in hell I'm not going to have a bet on this game since it's at Friday at 10 p.m. especially rolling that into a full day of college football Saturday for the first week. Yeah, I'm going to have a bet in this game, but as of right now, it's ass, and I don't like anything. But yeah, follow me on Twitter. I'll throw some BS bet out there, but as of right now, I'm passing.
Yeah, I kind of like the Raiders. We won against San Fran last week with the Saints. They looked horrible the entire game. San Fran does have those cluster injuries. Vegas took a ton of money last week, I think, as a heavy favorite, and then I believe lost outright. And I think now the line, I think it's where it's at because they took so much money and lost, and they were a huge favorite, and because Minshew got named the starter. So I think a lot of people were banking on Minshew and Aiden O'Connell both playing pretty hard minutes to get the starting role. I don't think Minshew being named the starter is gonna hurt them in this preseason game. I think O'Connell still comes out and tries to prove what he's got. I think we see a little bit more fire under the Raiders this week. So I like them at the +6. I still think San Fran is dealing with those injuries and they still don't want to risk anything. This would be one where I'd maybe look at Raiders on the money line +205. Don't hate that. I think the Raiders keep it close, if not win this one outright. And then we'll move to Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern. We have 4 or 5 games in this time slot. We'll start with the Pittsburgh Steelers at our Detroit Lions. Lions +6.5, over under 35. I'll start with this one. I small lean on Pittsburgh. The line just feels very fishy. Detroit just got an upset win as a touchdown underdog. I think they're actually more than a touchdown on the closing line. Beat the Chiefs outright, and now they're a 6.5-point home dog in their first home preseason game. Line just feels a little fishy. My fear here is I think a lot of people are betting on the Fields and Russell Wilson combo, and they probably don't play that much in this one. So I think this will be a stay away game for me, but the line is telling me Pittsburgh's probably the play.
Yeah, gonna be completely transparent. All of Saturday's slate is stay away from me because again, we have college football on Saturday. Even though it's not good college football, it's not preseason. So we have actual college football on Saturday. Make sure you do check out our college football previews out now. So fully, I'm not going to have a bet in any NFL preseason Saturday game, but I do like Pittsburgh. I agree with you. Pittsburgh's 0-2. Lions coming off, like you said, a money line win where I think the Chiefs closed at -9. And then, yeah, the Steelers have been struggling with Fields and Russell. I don't know what they're going to do in the regular season, but I think they'll figure it out in this game. I like them on the spread, but again, I'm not going to have a bet.
Yeah, good point. Especially a meaningful college football game, or the most meaningful, is a 12 p.m. kickoff. So, yeah, it's going to overlap with all these games here. But next one in the time slot, the LA Rams at Houston Texans. Houston, a 6.5-point home favorite. Obviously, have one of the best quarterback rooms and have been looking really good in this preseason. Over under 34. Anything sticking out in this one?
No, I want to fade the Rams, but they're 2-0, and I want to fade the Texans just because they, like you said, they have a great quarterback room. We were pretty high on them in the preseason, so I don't really like either team. I think Houston's going to win it. Not sure if they're going to win it by a touchdown, like the under, but yeah, no bet for me.
Yeah, I'll just keep this one short. Just stay tuned. Follow me on Twitter if you want an opinion on this one. Well, I might have an opinion on this one. I'm intrigued by this game because, yeah, I do want to fade the Rams. I do think Houston still has a good quarterback room. I just don't know about the 6.5. So waiting on more information in this game, but I am intrigued by that matchup. Carolina Panthers at Buffalo Bills. Bills 2.5-point home underdog, over under 30.5. Very low total in this one because Carolina has sucked in the preseason, probably more than they sucked all last year in the regular season, which is tough to say. Any lean for you in this one?
It's got to be Carolina, right?
Has to be.
It's got to be. And I know I said last week it's got to be Carolina, but I'm going to stay away because I can't bet them. And good thing I did because they lost bad. But it's got to be Carolina. It's got to be the under too, I would guess. I don't think Buffalo is going to score maybe 3 points, 6 points. Feeling like a 13-6 Carolina win in this game.
I like the over.
Okay.
Seeing like 20-13. I would give it Carolina. That's just a gut feeling. Who knows? I think the overs have to come in here. But pass on that game mostly.
I actually might bet it now that I don't know. No, I can't. I can't bet Carolina, but I do think Carolina has to play.
We'll see when Saturday comes around.
Yeah.
Might fire up a live on Saturday. I don't know. There's not too many great college games to talk about, but maybe join that if we do get on live. We'll probably have better information in these preseason games. Our second to last 1 p.m. game, Baltimore Ravens at Green Bay Packers. The Packers are a 3-point home favorite, over under 33.5.
Yeah, I lean Green Bay, but not going to bet this game at all. I think people are still riding that high of the Ravens' preseason success, and they did get a win last week, but I think Green Bay's a play. Definitely not going to bet this game though.
Yep, that one is a straight up pass for me. Honestly, don't have any more than that. Don't have any information on that game, any lean, any feel. So we'll move on to the final 1 p.m. game, the Minnesota Vikings at the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles a 1-point home underdog, technically, even though their money line is minus 110 aside here. So really a coin flip game, over under 33.5. Who's winning between Minnesota and Philly?
Yeah, this is the preseason game of the week. The two undefeated teams, or the only game between undefeated teams facing off. Not going to bet it. I'd lean Minnesota, but I'm not touching this game.
Yeah, I lean Philly, but I don't know why. I just can't get over the fact that what's his face, the coach of Minnesota, O'Connell, was winless in the preseason for like 3 years until this year. So I don't know. It's just a hard thing for me to get over. Tough for me to put money on the Vikes, but probably a pass on this game as well for me. Again, college football, the Lions will be playing, so I'll have that on screen as well. Probably will not be watching that one. 4 o'clock Eastern here, the LA Chargers at the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys are a 3.5-point home favorite, over under 33.5. Again, I kind of lean the over here just because I just feel like overs are going to be hitting. The Chargers have not looked that impressive. Their quarterback play has been shaky at best. I believe Herbert is back at practice this week, which might get the quarterbacks a little bit more fired up. So maybe a small lean on LA plus the points, but I think both offenses could be putting up points. Trey Lance and company have looked decent for Dallas, so small lean on the over here. Lean on the Chargers plus the points. Probably not going to play that game.
Yeah, Jimmy Harbaugh and the Chargers are struggling a little bit. They look pretty damn bad. They look almost comparable to these Panthers. So again, their win total, Chargers win total, look it up. I don't understand why it is where it's at. I can't tell if it's sharp or square. I think Dallas is going to win. I think the Chargers are going to go defeated in the preseason. Might get like a little new, how I like the betting on the news headline. Maybe a little Chargers 0-3 under Harbaugh. Is it time to worry or some bullshit stuff like that? And again, I have no idea what the Chargers are going to do this year. But yeah, I think Dallas wins. Not going to bet this game. I kind of like the Chargers if you get them at the plus 3.5 with the hook. But yeah, I'm not betting that game.
And then 7 p.m. Eastern on Saturday, the Battle of MetLife here. Giants at Jets. Jets plus 1, over under 31.5. Interesting little game here. Any thoughts on that one?
I like the Giants. I'm seeing the Jets are pretty public. Giants have moved to the favorite. I know everyone's making fun of them with Danny Dimes making his preseason debut and his $160 million contract, only to throw a pick six and another interception. And the Jets are just, the Jets are the Jets. I don't know what the Jets are going to do this year either. But yeah, I think the Giants is the play. I think they're going to win it. Do think this one's going to be extremely low scoring, but again, don't recommend betting totals in the preseason. But I think the Giants get it done.
Yeah, I completely agree. Really looking more so to fade the Jets here, but the Giants just got slaughtered by Houston last week, 28-10. Yeah, obviously the Danny Dimes pick six kind of left a bad taste, I think, in Giants bettors' mouth. The Jets are 2-0, but they just don't care. Obviously the health of Aaron Rodgers is something that's going to be questioned early on this year. So I don't think they want to injure any of their backup quarterbacks just in case. I'm sure, knock on wood, Rodgers will probably be okay. But yeah, I just don't think the Jets care at all. They're playing for, honestly, they're probably playing for a Super Bowl this year. So who cares about the final preseason game? Obviously, technically, the Giants are on the road, but it's their home stadium. Yeah, I think the Giants bounce back after that ugly loss. Jets haven't cared. They played the Panthers and the Commanders, two preseason teams that aren't very good. I like the Giants. One of my favorite plays of the week. And then the Saturday late night special here, Cleveland Browns at Seattle Seahawks. Seahawks a 2-point home underdog, over under 38. Any lean for you in this one?
No, I am seeing Seattle's getting 80% of the bets. Cleveland's 0-2, Seattle's 1-1. Simply from the bets, I would lean Cleveland, but again, I don't know how much you can put into betting splits in preseason games. If this was a regular season game, I would hammer Cleveland, but unfortunately, the betting splits in preseason do not tell the same story they do in the regular season. So lean on Cleveland. Probably not going to bet it because I have $100 to lose on that late night Hawaii college football game.
I lean Cleveland, but they burned me week one pretty bad. Two of the better quarterback rooms for the preseason going head to head here. Obviously, it's worked out a little bit better for Seattle than it has Cleveland, so I think that comes back to the mean a little bit. I think the line's a little bit telling. Cleveland, a 2-point road favorite, especially at Seattle. I think, to my knowledge, this is like the furthest travel spot that I've seen in the preseason. Usually, like we were talking about, Jags and Tampa and Atlanta and Miami. Stays pretty regional here. This one is a little bit further travel, and Cleveland's still favored. So I think the line's a little bit telling here. I'd probably money line Cleveland. And I might do it. I just might do it, even though they burned me.
Yeah, we thought they were going to be this new preseason powerhouse, and 0-2 so far.
And then we finish off here with a Sunday triple header. Again, nice full slate of football here. 2 o'clock Eastern start time. Tennessee Titans at New Orleans Saints. The Saints are a 3.5-point home underdog, over under 36.5. Small lean on Tennessee. New Orleans looked like dog shit last week. Obviously, you and I were both on them. Tennessee still with a nice quarterback room, nice rotation there. Yeah, small lean on Tennessee, but it is Wednesday morning, and this game is not for another 4 days or whatever that may be. So I'm going to wait to get a good feel for these 3 games, but slightly on Tennessee right off the bat.
Yeah, so Sunday games, I'm going to be riding that college football high. So I definitely will be betting all 3 of these, especially the early game at 2 o'clock. I hate this game right now looking at it. Like you said, it is Wednesday. This game is not till 2 o'clock on Saturday. So who knows what's going to happen with this line. We made the mistake of jumping on the Saints early last week and the line moved 4 points and not in their favor. So I kind of lean the Saints just because they look so bad, and now in Tennessee's 2-0, and I think people are going to be jumping on Tennessee. But yeah, nothing for me right now. I will have a play on this come Sunday. So Sunday morning, possibly look at Twitter for these preseason games. But as of right now, I hate this game. I lean the Saints, but that makes me want to vomit.
Yeah, that's we'll tweet out our play on that Sunday opening game there. 2 games to go here. Sunday afternoon, 4:30 Eastern start time. The Arizona Cardinals at what feels like the Super Bowl champion, MVP quarterback room, Denver Broncos. Everyone's loving them. What are you liking in the second to last preseason game of the year?
Yeah, I'm a slight lean on Arizona. 0-2 Cardinals against 2-0 Broncos. You're talking about it. The Super Bowl MVP of Bo Nix and Zach Wilson is the best 1-2 QB punch in the league. If you ask any moron on Twitter right now, that's all they're talking about. So I slightly on Arizona. I don't think. Actually, I like Arizona quite a bit. I think I'm probably just going to take a money line now that I'm looking at it.
Yeah, I like Arizona. And it sucks because in my head, I'm saying Denver's going to be public, probably the most public bet of the week. This line should move. I wouldn't be shocked if there's reverse line movement. I wouldn't be shocked if this gets down to Arizona +2, +1.5. But I'm too scarred to take this line right now after what happened last week with the Saints. So I'm going to hold off. I'm going to watch it move. This is one that I'll probably be checking every couple of hours just to hop in when I see it start to move against us. But yeah, I think Arizona takes a sharp money here. Denver takes all the public. I think Arizona probably wins it outright. And then the final game of the preseason, the New England Patriots at the Washington Commanders. The Commanders are a 5.5-point home underdog, over under 34. Anything sticking out to you in our final game of the 2024 preseason?
Yeah, one of the first, maybe even of the preseason opening at 5.5 spread. We haven't seen that one often. A lot of 3.5s, a lot of 6.5s, not a whole lot of 4.5s or 5.5. So interesting line, but again, you can't really look at it too much in the preseason, in my opinion. I'd go with the Pats. They're pretty bad. I was on them last week, and they had like 4 or 5 opportunities to win that game outright, and threw picks, went 3 and outs, fumbled the last possession of the game. Disgusting, but yeah, I think they get it done. I think Washington's still a little overhyped with Daniels, so I do think there might be some value on the Patriots in this game, but this line is definitely going to move. I can't see it closing at 5.5, so I'll definitely wait on it, but I'm leaning the Patriots as of right now.
Yeah, I'm right there with you for a couple reasons. First off, New England was the first game of the week last week, Thursday night. Now they're the final game of the week. Washington played Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening last week, so a nice rest advantage for the Patriots. Patriots lost a really tough game on that fumbled snap. I know I was on their money line. Were you as well on the Patriots? Yep. Terrible way to end that game. You can't imagine a rookie head coach is going to be too pleased with the end of that game. So I do think they come in here with a little bit of fire. And then just the last thing, this might be their last opportunity for a win this year. So I think they're going to take it and see how the regular season goes. But yeah, they're going to be pretty bad. So lean on the Patriots. It's the final preseason game of the year, 8 o'clock Sunday night. I'm sure I'll be on it. But same thing with you. I'm going to wait and see where that line moves.
Yeah, I'm happy to get done with preseason. Can't wait for the regular season. We do have a slight break in NFL action. I think a week off next week, but that is week 1 of college football. So football full swing. Glad to be done betting scrimmages and excited to be betting actual contests.
I cannot wait for the regular season. In that off week too, that's when I'll really be diving into futures. I'll have some articles come out, maybe some videos. Already have a 5-unit future placed for the season that I'm pretty excited about. So, yeah, I'll have that in a premium article coming out before the season kicks off. But yeah, if you like the football content, please consider subscribing, liking the video, comment your favorite play of the preseason week 3. Feels a little bit more bettable than week 2 and week 1. We'll see if that's the case. If you're as excited for college football as we are, check out our YouTube channel where Wyatt and I have been doing some conference preview videos for the upcoming college football season. And then obviously once week 1 rolls around, we will be doing our Power 5 picks, college football episodes from week 1 all the way through the year. And we'll be trying to go live as often as we can on Saturday mornings, kind of break down the slate, calm each other down, as well as just up our bankrolls as we lock in everything each other likes. It's usually a fun time on Saturday morning, though. So go check that out as often as you can when we are live Saturday. And then other than that, keep up with Bobby and Ben as they keep killing their UFC Tapping Vegas videos. Noel has some great MLB articles coming out. I believe he is on a 6-0 run, so be sure to check those out. Aaron's dealing with the Premier League soccer as we are 1 week into that season. So a lot of content coming out. It's going to be all over the place. So be sure to, again, subscribe, follow us on socials, like, comment, and guys, we will see you in the next episode for regular season football.
You better start listening to the Better in Green podcast. You will not regret it. Trust me, trust me, trust me. And hey, I'm Dean Blandino.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to Better in Green, eh? To Better in Green, eh? To Better in Green, eh? Listen in and cash out. That's what it's all about. Come on, let's make cash now. We always on spot and we cover old spot from the bottom to the top. Hey, shout out to Ethan, shout out to Wyatt, shout out to Ben. Welcome, welcome to our podcast. Better in Green.